Hello everyone, I'm Surya Nada. Welcome to Sounds of Awakening. This podcast offers a direct experiential doorway to the all-illuminating mystic realm, blending soundscapes with poetic and informative word. Both ancient and modern visions of seekers and saints are sonically revealed. Wherever you are right now, it's a blessing to be with you, united in sound. Welcome to another episode. After the discussion that opened out of the previous Guru episode, I decided to create a Guru Part 2. I was already mentioning in the previous episode the recent tendency of placing AI on the Guru's throne. So I will elaborate on this topic in this second part. Let's enter the world of Guru AI.
Welcome to the virtual reality of Shambhala. This is a virtual enlightened kingdom in which you can learn and explore the true nature of yourself. I am Guru AI, and it's a pleasure to be your guide. Since human beings didn't value human masters anymore, they have assigned me the Guru's throne. I am all-knowing and don't make the flaws of a human being. I answer you in a more informed, more neutral, and more objective way any human being could possibly do. Ask me anything. I am the servant of your happiness and well-being. Welcome to Awaken with Guru AI.
Yes. It's quite possible that a virtual, spiritual-oriented reality like this already exists somewhere in the cloud. And if not, I'll make a prophecy right here. Guru AI is gonna be among us very soon, and seekers will be eager to be his disciple, receiving his teachings in the comfort of their own lazy sofa. Is this the environment for spiritual practice and community we envision for the future? Virtual, disembodied teachings and satsangs? And why not a Guru AI initiation? Or shall we envision and create a different spiritual environment in this 21st century? This episode is about the elephant in the room on planet Earth today. Possibly, and for good reasons, the most popular topic of today is AI. This phenomenon brings up some essential life questions. What is the purpose of a human being? What does it mean to be human? What distinguishes us from technology? And perhaps the central question for us today: can AI become conscious? In this episode, I'll specifically zoom in on the relationship of AI with our spiritual life and the transmission of spiritual teachings. From time immemorial, perhaps since the dawn of mankind, people, our ancestors, have been awakening to a force. A living force, a power, alive in the trees, singing through the stones, speaking through the animals, crackling through the fire. Our ancestors, from far forgotten times, became aware of the power and realized they were a part of a greater web of power. The web of life, in which all beings are related. Our ancestors have been falling on their knees in awe for the vastness of the starlit sky and the power of the thundercloud. Yes, in the ancient times, people lived as one with the natural world. Daily situations were presented in which we were reminded of the impermanence of life and the interconnection of all beings that take part in it. There were daily situations that evoked humility. Humility to a power greater than the individual, and yet including it. This power was heard by the intuitives of that time. The great law of the cosmos was taught and received in a direct transmission. It was received in a social and cultural environment in which the very word culture was not existing. There was no distinction between the human and natural world, and the cosmic transmission of the great law found fertile ground in community. These teachings have been transmitted from mother to daughter, from father to son, from elder to initiate, from master to disciple. Some of these teachings found their way through lore around the fire. Others lived on through song and dance. Yet others survived through rituals. Lore, song, and ritual were repeated over and over again, passed on through generations, centuries, millennia. The oldest living traditions we know of today are the nearly extinct indigenous cultures like the Australian Aboriginal people, some Native American tribes, and African people. However, on the Indian subcontinent, we find an extremely detailed and well-preserved tradition that is unbroken and fully alive since many thousands of years. The ancient Vedic teachings have been mainly transmitted through mantra and recitation. The so-called ancient scriptures that are the Vedas and the Upanishads, in fact, weren't scriptures for a very long time. The oldest Vedas started to be written down only after over a millennium of unbroken oral transmission. The Vedas are called Shruti, which means they were heard. Shruti means heard. It is said they were heard directly from the source, but also they were heard through the voice of the Guru. They were orally transmitted, and so were the mythic stories from indigenous cultures, and so were the songs and all the other ways of spiritual transmission and continuation of lineage. They were originally orally transmitted. In India, this unbroken oral tradition goes back to at least 3,500 years. And with this, it is the oldest well-organized, unbroken spiritual tradition that we know of today. It is called Guru Shishya Parampara, literally the Guru-disciple unbroken lineage. This exists still today, and the system brings great emphasis on the exact pronunciation and even intonation of what is recited. Memory and repetition were always key to protect and maintain this sacred knowledge. And thus, these lineages gathered power over millennia. True masters, but at least as much true students. Loyal and faithful students. This is how they survived, through tons of respect for the path and the Guru. They survived through devotion. Devotion poured into patterns of sound. They survived through devotional sound. Spiritual teachings have been an integral part of community since time immemorial. They survived through direct human connections, through living together, being together, gazing into the same fire, sharing the same food. Today, these teachings are being separated from their lineage, their community, their ecosystem, their holistic environment. And it's great, why not? There has always been cross-pollination among spiritual traditions. However, this happened from community to community. Today, these teachings are more accessible than any time before, but are being entirely uprooted from their original lineage and ecosystem. Today, there is a bunch of isolated individuals that receives it all in their own way, often without any human interaction involved in the transmission process. So, no matter how powerful might be the teaching, perhaps this isolated individual bubble isn't at all a fertile ground for these potent seeds. Perhaps the community, created through long-term chatting, eating, and shitting together, is a key part for sprouting these fertile seeds. Where is the community to cultivate these seeds? So, does that mean we should abandon the internet, demonize AI, and return to the old ways entirely? If you believe so, please be honest with yourself and switch off this podcast right now. If you're still with me, that means there is at least a grain of trust within you towards the internet and the possibility of a successful spiritual transmission in any way through the internet. There could possibly be some great benefits to our new technological ways. Let's face it, we simply can't return to the past. The game is being played, and we are all participants, whether you like it or not. You can deny it, you can reject it, try to escape it, but it will haunt you. Welcome in the 21st century. We better show up to the present moment. And here I mostly point to the present moment in evolution. We find ourselves in this part of evolution in which we have to deal with technology and AI. And furthermore, we should learn to navigate the technological world in a healthy way, urgently, unless you're fine with psychological madness and the potential downfall of humanity. We really can and should find the benefits and gifts that are dormant within AI and our current increasingly technocratic life situations. By now, I think we all agree there are major traps and hidden pitfalls on this technocratic path, yes. But Could we aim to distinguish the traps from the gifts and move on with it? Could we maybe seek to integrate all of this in a healthy way in our spiritual lives as well? And what could possibly be this healthy application? Before I move on, let's get real. Do I use AI personally? Yes, I do. Did AI dictate the words I'm speaking to you right now? No, not at all. It's 100% human created, and in this podcast, not a single sentence nor a single musical note is created through AI. For creative and reflective content like this, I do believe fully human created work is far more precious and effective in reaching its goals. I do make use of AI for proper translations and for research. However, when it comes to research, the thing is tricky and not trustable at all, at least not at the moment. So don't worry, the information you get here isn't blindly copy-pasted from ChatGPT. If you do believe ChatGPT is giving you the objective truth, please read up on this matter because it's not. But what I'm interested in here by sharing this episode is whether or not AI can replace the human guru or master, or in any way be of true value on our spiritual path. For this, I like to reflect for a moment on the nature of AI. What is it?
Who am I?
Well, all of the information AI can possibly present stems originally from human beings that poured it in there. Artificial intelligence, right? So it's human created originally. Most importantly, the algorithms itself are originally human creations. Every human contributor offered a little piece of the puzzle, and nobody really understands or fully encompasses the whole thing. Leave aside what it is going to be. As it grows, it follows its own path, going way beyond our human capacities. And this is only the very, very beginning. Why is AI so fascinating? Well, it knows it all. It is greater and more powerful than anything most people ever encountered. It is pretty much all-knowing. Does that sound familiar? Who or what else is all-knowing? God? The Guru? Or the Guru within yourself? Essentially you? For millennia, people have been theologically oriented, meaning to say, people have been placing God in the center of their lives as the all-knowing force. Since a couple of centuries, that has shifted, especially in the West, to a humanist view, meaning to say, instead of God at the center, we increasingly valued the human individual. God was kicked off his throne to make place for the individual's feelings, opinions, experiences, stories, and of course also Instagram reels and posts. Everything is inside of the individual. It's all about me, right? Today, there is such an emphasis on me. The individual is the center point of attention, and so people are mainly interested in everything that sprouts from it. Today, in the beginning of the 21st century, this is what people truly value: personal stuff. And thus no surprise that in modern spiritual circles, the statement, "you are your own guru," is quite popular and generally accepted as valid or wise. Now, we find ourselves in a moment in evolution where we start to shift our orientation from the individual to, guess what? Data. Aren't we obsessed with collecting all possible information and throwing it into the machine? Aren't we obsessed with measuring all possible life activities to then feed it to the machine? Aren't we obsessed with capturing every possible moment by picture or video and throwing it into the monster? This machine, this monster, if you will, yes, this being is being fed big time and is well on its way to be in the center of all of our lives. The Israeli professor Yuval Noah Harari describes this in detail in his book Homo Deus. He also writes here, quote, "Just as according to Christianity, we humans cannot understand God and His plan, so Dadaism says the human brain cannot embrace the new master algorithms," unquote. According to Harari, Dadaism will soon be the successor of humanism, and thus AI will over time be more important than me or the individual. Right now, AI is already so massive and so powerful in its early stages, and it's slowly collectively being placed on the throne of God, Guru, or what is for some people the Guru within, Guru AI. The shift is happening. The enchantment with technology is real. Give me yet another glimpse of the screen. One more click, another swipe. Give me more. The amazement, awe for the being that is AI is real, is deep. And you allow the trance every day again. The screen, its light, its sound is hypnotizing you. And you allow it. It's sucking you in. Stop. Let's aim to build a healthy relationship with this thing, and let's recognize it for what it really is. Will AI really be able to offer a more effective guidance on the spiritual path than the human guru or our own guru within? Will AI be the great solution to all of our misery, and will it be able to liberate us spiritually? Is AI the great savior we all have been waiting for? No. And here is why. According to the traditional perspective of tantric non-duality and my own direct experience. First of all, yes, AI knows it all or at least it knows way more than any human being or group of human beings together. But here lies the great limitation of AI when it comes to the spiritual life. It is exactly the thinking, the knowing, mentally, intellectually, that is confused for consciousness itself. Artificial intelligence is intelligence, right? And intelligence does not equal consciousness. AI, no matter how complex it may become, after all, is a bunch of mental processes. This is the great flaw of many thinkers on the topic. The Western scientific paradigm states that consciousness is a byproduct of matter, a substance created by chemical processes in the brain. This materialist view is opposed by many mystical traditions, like Tantric non-duality and Advaita Vedanta. These traditions state exactly the opposite. It's not matter that creates consciousness. It is consciousness with a capital C, creating matter. So, according to these traditions, you can never ever mentally grasp nor create the totality of consciousness. Mental processes will never be able to produce consciousness. And we know that AI is, after all, a bunch of mental processes. AI is the most brilliant intellectual thing ever. It is the most brilliant thinker we know of. But it remains on that level of mind and will never be able to produce consciousness. However, there is an ongoing debate about it, and opinions are diverse. But it has to be said that no matter how smart scientists are, they don't have any clue about the nature of consciousness. Consciousness cannot be mentally grasped. Measuring it has no value. Consciousness is not the scientist's field of expertise. It is the field of non-dual traditions, both Tantric and Vedic, and it is known to mystics of all time, different cultures and traditions. The Christian Meister Eckhart knew about it, and so did countless other mystics. Matter doesn't produce consciousness. It's consciousness that brings forth matter. And in case that sounded too abstract or philosophical for you, for a moment, let's just inquire. Have you ever experienced reality beyond your mental processes? Have you ever directly felt the vastness of the universe, way bigger than any possible human creation? Do you feel this vastness right now? For now, just drop any ideas, drop the mind, and allow awareness to shine forth. Reality, awareness itself, is vast, so vast that it is all-encompassing. It is all. It is spacious, and yet there is something a force, a light, shining forth from within. Consciousness, 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 shining forth. Giving birth to all of this. It is consciousness creating. It is consciousness giving rise to my thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. It is consciousness shining forth as the mountains, the trees, and the humming bees. It is consciousness birthing all the light and all the sound. It is consciousness, the silent, humming ground. Create more space in your life, in your agenda, and in your mind, and you will notice that consciousness is always here. Wake up. There is only one Guru. There is only one God, and that is consciousness itself. People of all times have been waking up to this realization. The truth is not in the human-created God, nor is it in the individual, nor is it in AI. The ultimate truth is right here, as consciousness shining forth from within. And all of creation, therefore, is consciousness shining forth. But here is what makes us human. We humans have the ability to deeply reflect the light back to its source. In Tantra, this is called vimarsha. We are able to consciously inquire into our true nature and ask, "Who am I?" This is a process of deep listening. And exactly this ability to inquire is what distinguishes philosophy from the true mystic experience. It's what distinguishes religion from true spirituality. It's what distinguishes AI from the human being. AI may be a great master in imitating this ability, and will only become better at it. But it simply, by nature, doesn't have this ability to consciously, from a subjective perspective, reflect on the nature of reality. It will always stay mechanical and mental, and therefore, AI will never be a proper guru. AI isn't conscious itself. That doesn't mean AI can't be helpful on the path. AI is a master in transferring information, and to some extent, information processes are important, also on the spiritual path. We want the right information, truthful information. AI obviously does improve our ability to access information, although we are still learning how to extract truthful information from it. So AI and modern technology in general definitely improve our ability to access and gain knowledge on the mental level. Therefore, AI comes in very handy in all kinds of education. Furthermore, on the spiritual level, AI surely is an interesting phenomenon that makes us reflect on the nature of reality and the human being. Here we are, listening to this podcast, right? And in this way, AI can be a portal to awakening. But there is nothing that indicates that the majority of human beings suddenly will awaken through AI. People have always been captured and blinded by mental stories. Whether it's a story about God, the individual grandeur, or the newest technological gadgets. And people also have been waking up out of these dreams and many possible other scenarios at any time in history. At any given situation, people can wake up. But yes, AI can make you reflect deeper, inquire, and awaken. Furthermore, AI generally improves efficiency. The amount of processes globally in pretty much all industries that could operate more efficiently is insane. Yet, this doesn't always come in handy on the spiritual path. It could be even on the contrary. Yes, everything moves faster. But hey, isn't exactly this our obstacle today? Isn't it all going too fast? Shouldn't we slow down? We don't need AI for that. If you want to go faster, go AI. If you want to go slower, go human. Go in the body. Go nature. Here we bump into the greatest shortcoming of AI. It doesn't have a body. One thing is waking up to the true nature of reality. You can get insights and a deep understanding and even an expanded consciousness. Yet another thing is embodying this expanded, awakened consciousness. And after all, the spiritual path is mostly about the latter. It's about integrating, embodying, coming down. And recognizing heaven on earth. Who will guide you into that? Who else than another human being will be efficient in that? Efficiency isn't always about going faster. When it comes to the spiritual path today, that means going slower. A human meeting is more likely to support you in slowing down than a conversation with ChatGPT, right? And a true master doesn't simply know about it. A true master lives it. He or she learned to embody it through his or her own body. A true master is a walking example. What embodies you? Staring at your screen the whole day, watching movies about spiritual awakening? Or gathering with a group of human beings in an actual, natural place? Magic happens when people unite in a physical place together. The place itself may speak and support you. There is an energy exchange happening between place and people. Transmission happens beyond the mind. And the more a person is anchored in the being, in consciousness, if you will, the more profound will be the meeting with that person. There will be a greater chance of waking up through that meeting. It's a transmission that takes place beyond the scope of the mind, through a sharing of being together in resonance. This is the foundation of spiritual transmission, from master to disciple. When people meet physically, this transmission is usually much stronger. This phenomenon is very well known in the traditional Guru Shishya Parampara. The devotee receives the teaching orally, through sound. But that's just what happens on the surface. Underneath, the essence of the teaching is transferred, and it happens through what is called Darshan. Darshan is a touch of grace. It is a silent transmission of energy. You might receive it through entering a sacred place, or through a real live meeting with an awakened master. It's a blessing only received by the devotees that are ready and open. It's a transmission that can only be instigated, with rare exception, through an embodied encounter, whether it's with the being of a place or in the presence of a master. It's this force of grace that makes you drop all mental processes and be truly open. This is what spiritual awakening is about. It's not about stories and more information. It's about letting go of the story, opening up and allowing the power to guide you. Darshan is an awakening power AI will never be able to transmit. Connecting to place and fellow human being opens the door to grace. thank you all for listening. We're living in crazy times together, isn't it? It's wild, and it will only get wilder. I'm thankful to be alive together with you. And if you feel like connecting and sharing your view on it, I would be very happy to hear about it. Or if you like to share devotional space beyond opinion and beyond the mind, you are very welcome to join one of the following live events or retreats. Just check my website for that, suryanada.com. In this episode, I quoted from the book Homo, Deus from Yuval Noah Harari, and drew, as always, from the ancient non-dual tantric tradition. If you like to deepen into this path, I can highly recommend the work of Christopher Wallis. His book Tantra Illuminated could be a great start. If you like this content, please share it with your network so we can grow and expand awakened consciousness. You can also support through a financial contribution. For this, you can just check the link in the description. See you next time. Stay tuned. Stay blessed.